Welcome back to the deep dive. Usually we are wading through, tech specs or business case studies, the latest productivity hacks.
Right.
But today, we are stepping away from the screen. We're walking into a room that smells like dried sage and peppermint and, I want to say, beeswax.
It sounds like you've wandered into an apothecary.
That is exactly where we're going. But not the dusty, cobweb-filled shop you see in fantasy movies.
No dragon scales today.
No, none of that. We are looking at The Lost Art of Herbal Healing by Wynn. And what struck me immediately is that this isn't about, magic. It's about chemistry, biology, and really just reconnecting with the ground we walk on.
That's a great way to frame it. What Wynn does in this text is bridge a massive gap. On one bank, you have ancient traditions, wisdom from Egypt, medieval Europe, the folklore of plants. And on the other bank, you have modern science confirming why these things actually work. It's about treating plants not just as ingredients, but as faithful allies in health.
Faithful allies.
Yeah.
I like that. It implies a relationship.
It does. But she backs that relationship up with hard data on enzymes, volatile oils, and bioavailability.
Okay, so our mission today is to unpack the system behind herbalism. We aren't just reading recipes, though, spoiler alert, we have some incredible ones for hangovers and focus coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to figure out how to turn a garden or even just a windowsill into a personal medicine cabinet. We're talking digestion, stress, focus, all of it.
But before we start chopping up roots, we have to address the most critical rule in the book, the foundation of the alchemist's lab.
Safety. I think there's this pervasive idea, this natural fallacy in our culture, that if it grew in the ground, it's harmless. It's like, oh, it's just a leaf. How bad can it be?
That is a dangerous assumption, and Wynn is very, very stern about it. Natural does not mean weak. I mean, arsenic is natural. Hemlock is natural.
Right. It's not just a beverage. It's a biological agent.
Exactly. Your herbs are medicine. They have active chemical compounds that interact with your liver, your blood pressure, and, yes, your prescription drugs.
I think she mentioned St. John's wort.
That's the classic example. It's great for mood, but it accelerates the liver enzymes that process other drugs, effectively flushing your medication out of your system way too fast.
So you could accidentally neutralize your heart medication just because you drank a tea.
Precisely. So the rule is, do your homework, talk to professionals, especially if you're pregnant or on medication. Don't just, play mad scientist with a blog post.
Okay, so safety check done. We're in the lab.
Yeah.
The book spends a lot of time on the state of the herb, fresh versus dried versus powdered. I always thought fresh was best. In cooking, you always want fresh basil, right?
In a culinary sense, yeah, you want that bright flavor. But for medicinal herbalism, it's a trade-off. It's more nuanced. When an herb is fresh, it has what Wynn calls its vitality.
And vitality means?
Chemically, it means the full spectrum of volatile oils and enzymes are intact and hydrated.
Volatile here meaning they evaporate easily.
Correct. They're unstable. If you crush a fresh mint leaf, that burst of scent, those are the medicinal oils escaping into the air. Fresh is fantastic for immediate use, like a poultice for a bee sting, but the clock is ticking.
Not going to rot.
It's going to rot. It's going to mold. So drying isn't just about storage. It's about stabilization.
Freezing the chemistry in place.
You got it. By removing the water, you stop the enzymatic degradation. You also concentrate the medicine. A teaspoon of dried nettle has way more active compounds than a teaspoon of fresh, just because the water weight is gone.
But, and this is a big but, in the book, you can completely screw this up if you're impatient. I highlighted the oven warning because I am definitely guilty of this.
Oh, everyone is.
Trying to dry herbs in the oven on low heat to speed things up.
And according to Wynn, that is a cardinal sin. Even the lowest setting on a modern oven is usually too hot. Once you pass 45 degrees Celsius, about 115 Fahrenheit, you aren't drying the herb, you're cooking it.
You're baking the medicine right out of it.
You're denaturing enzymes, vaporizing those volatile oils we just talked about. Here's a good rule of thumb. If your kitchen smells delicious while you're drying rosemary, you've actually failed.
Wow.
That scent is the medicine leaving the plant and floating around your kitchen instead of staying in the leaf where you want it.
That is such a helpful visual. You want the scent trapped in the jar. So if the oven is out, what's the right way to do it?
It depends on the plant. For sturdy, woody herbs like rosemary or sage, Wynn suggests the bundle method, that classic image of herbs tied with twine hanging upside down.
Yeah.
It works because the stems are stiff enough to allow airflow.
But you can't do that with, a chamomile flower. It would just crumble.
Right, or mold in the center. For delicate flowers or high moisture leaves like basil, you need the tray method. laying them flat on a screen so air hits them from all sides.
Okay.
Or, if you want to be really precise, a dehydrator. But it has to have a temperature control. You got to keep it in that Goldilocks zone of 35 to 45 degrees Celsius.
And then the third form, powder. I see powdered greens everywhere now. Smoothies, supplements. The book seemed kind of skeptical about storing them long term.
It's all about surface area. Think about a whole dried leaf. Only the outside touches the air. Now grind it into dust. You've exposed every single microscopic cell to oxygen.
So it starts degrading much faster.
Almost instantly. It's fine if you're going to use it this week, but if you buy a jar of powdered herbs that's been sitting on a shelf for 6 months, it's likely lost a huge chunk of its potency.
Keep them whole until you need them.
Got it. Okay, so we have our raw materials. Now we need to get them into the body. The book calls these vehicles: teas, tinctures, salves. When do I use which?
Think of it in terms of the intensity of the conversation. A tea or an infusion is a gentle chat.
Yep.
It's water-based, it's hydrating,
Right.
comforting, and it's great for long-term daily maintenance.
Okay, so a tincture is a direct order.
Huh, I like that. Yeah, tinctures is direct order. Tinctures use a solvent, usually high-proof alcohol or glycerin, to pull out compounds that water simply cannot dissolve. Alkaloids, resins, the heavy lifters.
Exactly, it's concentrated. You take it by the dropper full, not the cup full. It's precise, shelf-stable for years, and portable. If you have an acute issue like a sudden cramp, you reach for a tincture because it hits the bloodstream faster.
And then for external stuff, we have salves and poultices. I always get these mixed up.
A salve is a barrier. It's herb-infused oil thickened with beeswax. It sits on the skin, perfect for a scrape or chapped lips.
Got it.
A poultice is way more primal. It's the wet, mashed-up plant applied directly to the skin.
Like putting a wet tea bag on a puffy eye.
That's a perfect example. That is a poultice. The goal of a poultice is usually to draw things out: infection, inflammation, splinters. It's more aggressive than a salve.
Okay, lab setup, rules understood. Let's get to the body system toolkit. We have to start with the gut, the second brain.
It's the center of health in almost every traditional system, and modern science is finally catching on.
There's a recipe here that I think is going to be popular, the hangover recovery tea. But looking at the ingredients, it seems like a general, I ate something I shouldn't have cure.
It really covers all the bases.
Yeah.
You've got dried ginger, which is the gold standard for nausea. You've got peppermint, which is an antispasmodic. It stops the stomach from cramping.
And the star is milk thistle seeds.
That's the one. The active compound is silymarin. It's fascinating. It actually reinforces the cell membranes of your liver cells, making it harder for toxins to get in.
So while the ginger calms your stomach, the milk thistle is actively helping your liver filter everything out.
It's a two-pronged approach: symptom relief plus actual organ support.
Okay, now moving to the metabolic section. I saw a recipe title that made me laugh out loud. Nature's Zempic Drops.
Catchy, isn't it?
Very. Is this just marketing, or is there some real biology here?
The biology is legitimate, and it's wild. It relies on a plant called Gymnema sylvestre. In Ayurveda, it's literally called the sugar destroyer.
How does it destroy sugar?
It works on 2 levels. First, if you put the liquid on your tongue, the gymnemic acids in it actually bind to your sweet taste receptors. They block them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you eat a piece of chocolate a minute after taking this, it tastes like chalky fat, no sweetness at all.
It physically stops you from enjoying sugar. That is diabolical. I love it.
It breaks the reward loop in your brain. But secondly, it also blocks receptors in your intestines, which can prevent the absorption of some sugar molecules.
So the recipe blends this with bitter melon and ginger.
Right. Bitter melon helps with glucose balance, and the ginger is there to warm the digestion. It's a whole metabolic stoke.
Speaking of that, the Golden Glow Metabolic Tonic. It's basically a turmeric drink. But the book makes a huge deal about the pinch of black pepper. Is that really necessary?
It is chemically non-negotiable. This is one of the most famous synergies in herbal chemistry. Curcumin, the anti-inflammatory magic in turmeric, is notoriously hard for the body to absorb.
So you drink a turmeric latte and it just goes right through you.
Mostly, yeah, unless you add piperine, which is in black pepper. Piperine temporarily inhibits a liver enzyme that would normally flush the curcumin right out. It increases the bioavailability by something like 2,000%.
2,000%, just from a pinch of pepper.
That's the alchemist part of the title, knowing that A needs B to work.
Okay, let's move up to the head. The modern mind section. Stress, focus, sleep. How does herbalism handle focus without just adding more stimulants?
That's the key difference. The energy drink approach is to force the body into high gear. The herbal approach is about removing the friction.
There's a recipe called the ADHD Focus and Flow Tincture.
And the ingredients tell the story. You have gotu kola, ginkgo biloba, and lemon balm. Ginkgo is a vasodilator. It improves blood flow to the brain. More blood means more oxygen.
And gotu kola.
It's a brain tonic in Eastern traditions, supports the nervous system. But the genius part of the mix is the lemon balm.
Isn't lemon balm usually for sleep?
It's a calming herb, yeah, a nervine. But in this mix, it's there to tame the anxiety that often kills focus. If you can't concentrate because your mind is racing, adding caffeine helps nothing.
Right, it just makes you a fast warrior.
Exactly. Lemon balm calms that static noise so the brain can actually lock in. It's flow state, not force state.
I like that. But what about when we do need to power down? The moon milk for sweet sleep.
This is all about ritual. It uses warm milk, which is classic comfort, but the engine is ashwagandha.
An adaptogen. We hear that word a lot. What does it actually mean?
An adaptogen helps your body adapt to stress. It basically regulates the communication line between your brain and your adrenal glands. So instead of sedating you like a sleeping pill, it lowers your cortisol levels so your body naturally realizes it's safe to sleep.
So it's fixing the root cause,
Yeah.
the stress.
Exactly. And the recipe pairs it with nutmeg, which is actually a mild sedative in traditional medicine.
I just thought it was for pumpkin pie.
It's a very cozy chemical hug.
But sometimes you don't have time for a cozy hug. Sometimes you're having a panic attack at work. The book has an emergency cord remedy called Panic Reset Drops.
This one's a strong tincture. It uses valerian root and passion flower. Valerian is the heavy hitter. It increases GABA in the brain. That's the neurotransmitter that basically says chill out.
It's chemically quieting the noise.
And passion flower helps stop those circular racing thoughts, the hamster wheel thinking. It's designed for acute distress, not for daily use.
Got it. Okay, gut, mind. Let's finish with the lungs. Respiratory resilience. We have to talk about Amish fire cider.
Ah, the ancient fire. This stuff is legendary.
I read the ingredients and my eyes started watering. Apple cider vinegar, horseradish, onion, garlic, cayenne pepper. It sounds like a salad dressing from hell. Why on earth do people drink this?
Because it is an immune sledgehammer. Think about what happens when you eat spicy horseradish.
Your sinuses just
Yeah.
explode in a good way.
Exactly. It thins mucus instantly. The cayenne heats up the body, waking up the immune system. And the onion and garlic are potent antimicrobials.
So you take a shot of this when you feel that first tickle in your throat.
Yep. It's not about comfort. It's about shock and awe for your immune system. It's intense, but it works.
If that's the sledgehammer, the homemade cough lozenges seem like the gentle repair crew.
These are lovely. It's just honey, ginger, thyme, and lemon. But the art is in the making. You have to cook the honey to the hard crack stage.
That's a candy-making term, isn't it?
It is. It means boiling the honey until almost all the water is gone. If you stop too soon, you get chewy caramels that stick to your teeth. If you hit hard crack, it solidifies into a glass-like lozenge.
And the thyme in there.
Thyme is a brilliant antispasmodic for the lungs, so it quiets the cough reflex while the honey coats the throat.
It's fascinating how specific these plants are. Which brings us to the big picture. The book has this table of core healing herbs, and it made me realize my spice rack is basically a pharmacy I'm ignoring.
That is the biggest takeaway. We compartmentalize. We think basil is for pesto, but holy basil is a premier adaptogen for stress. We think rosemary is for chicken, but it stimulates blood flow to the brain.
Even beetroot is listed for circulation because of the nitrates.
Every single plant has a biochemical profile. We've just forgotten how to read them.
This leads to the final provocation of the book, which I loved. It's about weeds.
Yes, the plants we fight the hardest against.
We spend millions trying to kill dandelions.
Yeah.
And yet, Wynn identifies dandelion root as a top-tier liver tonic.
It's packed with vitamins, supports digestion, burdock root, nettle, dandelion. These are powerhouse medicines that we label as nuisances.
So the challenge for you listening is this perspective shift. Next time you see a dandelion cracking through the sidewalk, do you see a mess? Or do you see the main ingredient for a liver detox tea?
It forces you to ask, what else have we devalued that's actually essential?
It's a deep question. And honestly, the whole process itself seems to be part of the cure. Herbalism is not instant.
No, it's a dialogue, as the text says. You have to wait for the herbs to dry. You have to wait 4 weeks for a tincture to steep.
In a world of one-day delivery, waiting a month for your panic drops feels insane.
But that patience creates a connection. When you make the remedy with your own hands, you are actively participating in your own healing.
So we don't expect everyone to go home and start fermenting onions in their closet today.
Though, highly recommended if you're brave.
But maybe just start with one thing. The book suggests a living apothecary.
Even if it's just one pot of mint on the windowsill, dry it yourself. Make a tea. See how it tastes compared to the dusty bag you bought 3 years ago.
I think I'm going to try the lozenges. I have honey and thyme in the cupboard right now.
It's a perfect entry point. Just watch that temperature on the honey so you don't burn it.
I will. Thank you for walking us through this. It's amazing how much science is hidden in the garden.
It was a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thanks for diving in. Go find a weed, look up what it does, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.